What's good guys, Completionist here, and I'm going to be bringing you today a video that's been requested a little bit by me. Some people have been sending me messages and have been asking for me to get this out for you. And it's actually going to be about a Warlock build, and that is the Sunsinger subclass build that I've been using and I've sort of been trying to perfect. So as you can see, I have maxed out both my Voidwalker, well my Sunsinger first, and my Voidwalker subclasses, so I've had a chance to test out all the abilities, and with that I've tried to optimise my build. So I'm going to be using the Sunsinger class, and the main reason for using that is this exotic chest armour piece I got. It's the Heart of the Praxic Fire. As you can see down there, the special ability on that is further decrease all ability cooldowns while Radiance is active. So that's pretty crazy guys, as you can imagine. So let's get straight into it. Without further ado, the Sunsinger build. So in terms of the grenades, you get 3 to start. Well, you don't get 3 to start, you start with 1, but once you've unlocked them all, you get a choice of 3. First being Solar Grenade. Now, its description there is a grenade that creates a flare of solar light, which continually damages enemies trapped inside. So this is the choice that I would be going for. Now, just to compare it to the Firebolt and the Fusion Grenades, the Firebolt grenade, unleashes a bolt of solar light at nearby enemies. Now that's, I think it can hit up to about 4 enemies, so it's not really a great AoE damaging spell. Whereas this one, it's a damage over time, and if you can land your grenades, it's going to do the most damage per second. In terms of the Fusion Grenade, it's basically just a sticky, and it's like a one-time deal, so I wouldn't really spec into that. So my big suggestion guys is the Solar Grenade, keep rolling with that. Now I've seen a lot of people with their glides choose between either, well mainly they're going for the balanced glide, not only because it's the last one you unlock, but also because it's basically the best of both worlds apparently. Now with regards to this, I actually build into the Focus Burst. Now the reason for that is, in this subset, one of the main issues is, as a Warlock you don't actually get blink using this. Now if you're using Xbox One or if you're using PlayStation, so effectively A or the X button, if you tap this 3 times, it's going to give you a burst of speed to jump into the air, and it's going to take you back down. Now that's what you're going to use as effective defensive mechanism. You can use that to get away from enemies. Also, you can use it to speed up your runs if you're trying to do efficient farming or anything like that. It's basically the blink of the Sunsinger build, so I'd advise you use that. It's pretty easy enough to control anyway. Now Radiance, this is the big part of the build, and there's different ways you can spec this, so depending on what you're going to be doing, you're going to change this. So what I like to use if I'm going to be doing anything that's hard, such as raiding, weekly nightfall challenges, you're going to want to spec into Fireborn. Now that says right here, Radiance can now be activated from beyond the grave, doing so returns you to life. So that's insane. Basically once you die, if you've got your super up, it gives you the option to revive straight away. And not only that, it doesn't just waste your super, you actually get the full use of your super once you revive. So if you're going to die, it's likely that you're in a situation where you're maybe being overwhelmed. It's going to give you that extra kick of damage to maybe clear out the extra mobs or maybe finish off that boss. Scorch I'm not going to really talk too much on. This build focuses around keeping enemies at a distance with the Focus Burst. Also, I don't really like the spec into it, but if I was to go for anything, I like just the knockback. Let's see, yeah, the knockback. Now, reasoning for not choosing the Flame Shield, the damage negation is pretty minimal, so the knockback basically hits them away from you and you can just keep shooting. It works really handy with knights or any of the larger mobs. And finally, Brimstone causes an enemy to explode. Now, that could be good, but if you've got enemies close to you that already are designed to explode, such as the Exploding Thralls or whatever they're called, that could basically just cause you a death. In terms of the Arcane Wisdom or the Arcane Spirit or Force, so that's basically what you're specking into up here in Armour, Recovery or Agility. I'm always going to suggest Armour and Recovery first over Agility. Once again, this is where the Focus Burst plays into it. You're going to be using that as your effective Agility. So with that, I've just spec'd into Arcane Spirit, and that's Recovery and Toughness. So you get the best of both worlds there. Now Radiant Will, this is just the extra subset within this to affect your super. So you've got 3 options. You've got your Radiant Will, which increases the duration of Radiance. That's a really, really good one. You've got Viking Funeral, which enemies which have been ignited take more damage. And finally you've got Sunburst. Killing an enemy with Scorch has a chance to generate Orbs of Light. Now you could get some effective builds with this Sunburst, but because I'm not going to be focusing on Scorch today, basically what you're going to do is negate that and go over between and choosing one of these two. So Viking Funeral is what I've spec'd into. Enemies that you ignite burn longer and take more damage. Now the reason I've chose this, I'm just going to skip to the end here, is because of this attribute here, Touch of Flame. All grenades ignite enemies, causing damage over time. So within one super cycle, I can get maybe about 10 grenades out. That's increased damage over time. It's also, because the grenade I'm using, it's a Solar Flare which traps enemies, and well, it doesn't just trap them, it causes the damage over time and the initial impact damage. Just the final part then is going to be what order I'm going to be focusing on, and once again it's going to scale directly with armour and recovery. This one's just toughness at all costs, so that's a big jump to the armour there. I could increase the agility if you're looking maybe go for a bit more pace if you're lacking that, but I would totally advise against that. So I hope this has actually helped you.